Hey guys, Future Caleb here with an announcement, sort of. We will not be covering Chapter 6 of Non-Bindo's story, Link Goes to Hogwarts. And the reason being, at the time we recorded originally, there was only 5 chapters. On October 31st, he updated it with Chapter 6. We might read this chapter in the future, but it won't be covered here. Alright, past me, take back over.
Chapter 5, Scooby-Doo Doors at Hogwarts. Link goes to Hogwarts. Check, pet, poop, tur 5. The 6th chapter, 111111111. This is chapter 5, the 5th chapter of Link Goes to Hogwarts. It is not chapter 4, nor is it chapter 6. Chapter 3 is right out. Nay, it is chapter 5, the 5th chapter in sequence.
Apparently he's making a magic sequence.
Discalamari. Discalamari. I am not Jack Rowling. The stupid dents were in magical ballet class, and I am the author of this fanfic and can make up classes if I run out if I want to, damn it.
Sure, that's fair, even though it doesn't really make any sense.
And wearing magical tutus. The Link didn't feel like wearing a tutu, so I didn't, but then he decided to be Femling for the class, so he did. And then he decided not to wear a tutu, but still be Femling for the class, because he does that using his truest soul power. The students all dance magical ballet, which was different from Muggle ballet because it's done whilst flying on broomsticks.
Isn't this a little advanced for first years? Wouldn't this be more like a second year class? Because, I mean, the first years are still learning to be on broomsticks.
I think so. And
just accelerating time or something.
I guess. I mean, we were already at Christmas, so.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to dance ballet whilst flying on a broomstick, but they did anyways. Madame Cooch gave them all 11 billions to each of their houses, sort of making it not matter. Meanwhile, just outside the classroom in the hall, Adore walked into the magical ballet classroom. Pardon me for my rudeness, but we don't have a bloody fucking magical ballet class. This is quite silly.
Then why did you put it in there if you just gonna retcon it later? Russian Dumbledore.
Yes, said, oh, that's right, I forgot, said modern pooch, and everyone stopped dancing ballet, and then through the wall burst an anvil monster with sledgehammering everything in sight. Oh crap, it's an anvil monster with sledgehammering everything in sight. Cowered everyone fearfully with fear. The anvil monster slammed enter some student. But luckily, Russian Dumbledore had progeoed the kid. And Link was in no mood for such ludicrous stupidity. Link pulled out his Megaton hammer and hurricane attack with it, smashing the sledgehammers to bits. Then Link jumped on the anvil part of the anvil monster and brought the hammer down. Get it? I'm funnest author ever.
No, I don't. And you're not.
Oh, I just say Uthor ever. Upon the anvil, bang, 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 the anvil split down the middle with cracks cracks and cracked apart and fell apart dead. The Anvil Master was dead now, and Link had saved everyone in the class, who all clapped and cheered Link for being awesome. Meanwhile, later that day at Defense Against the Dark Arts class, Harmonian raised her hand. Professor Quirrell.
Oh my god, we got his name right. I'm not sure if it's spelled that way, but at least it's,
Something.
Yeah.
How are alive? We all saw you died at the Quidditch game. Everyone else nodded helpfully, including Link, because he was the truest soul. Now, stupid tints. You shouldn't believe everything you see at a Quidditch game, said Professor Squirrel, wagging his finger at them. Suddenly, Minister Fig burst into the room with a billion
Oars.
Oars. Professor Squirrel, you're under arrest for broomstick cursing in front of everyone and being possessed by Lord Dovenfort.
But wait, didn't he die but had a doppelganger that was hiding? Why would he? Also, who knew that he was doing this outside of Snape and Link? I am so confused.
I don't know. And then Dumbledore came too. Such much. Your sign of terror ends here. Your reign of terror ends here. Well, my name isn't Russian Dumbledore. Oh, jeez. Should I just say the whole name for shits?
If you want to.
Und Milbor S. Cador Dumbledore Bumble Roar Dumbledore. And I can assure you that is my name, or it was a bunch Prisfel Wolfic. I can't seem to remember. Then Russian Dumbledore hit Dolvenfort with a cane 7.
Apparently, we're in Singapore.
Then Professor Squirrel Mort ran away with the speed of 1,000 runs.
So he became the Flash.
Yes. After him, Fudge shouted like mad, I have crabs in my socks.
How did you get crabs in there? What kind of crabs? Are they questionable crabs that you've been putting your feet into some weird places? Or did you just go to the beach and one decided to clamp on your toe?
Whispered Dumbledore. Professor ran all through the halls with the speed of 1,000 runnings, and then he got on a Nimbus to...
He couldn't do that! You have to be pure of heart to ride a Nimbus. Or do you mean like a broom called Nimbus 2001?
I think it was a broom called the Nimbus 2000.
Okay.
I think so. I could be wrong. Started flying with the speed of 2,000 flyings. Get it? It is not a pun, but some sort of numbers joke. RLFL left my ass off, blah blah blah. I am hilarity.
Not really. It's a Nimbus 2000 broom, and he's flying around with 2,000 flyings. Har, 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 har.
The auras all got on their broomsticks and started flying after him, and then Professor Squirrel flew under a stone arch, which exploded for no apparent reason. This confused the auras, but they realized there was no time to worry about exploring stone arches. That probably have nothing to do with a certain poltergeist. Professor Squirrel flew into a door, and the door closed behind him, and the auras flew through the same door just as Professor Squirrel flew out of one on the opposite side of the hallway. Professor Squirrel flew into a different door, and the auras flew out of that door a second later as Harry Potter flew out of a completely different door.
Why is Harry there?
Oh god, he was being chased by a naked Dumbledore wearing a bathrobe.
Why is Dumbledore naked?
Then Dumbledore opened and the billion oars flew out being chased by Squirrel Mort, and then Link came and laughed at the silly classic cartoon gag that is technically a cliche, but as classic gag it's still hilarious to this day and forevermore. As to Hermione chased an elephant in pink wizard robe and blue wizard hat out of another door, and Hermione was wearing a black leather shirt that showed off her boobs and tiny matching miniskirt that said simple plan on the butt. You might think she's a slut, but she's really not. She was just forced to wear it and bought a darkness Dementa Raven Ways clothes as a dare.
Which I would have found more interesting than the chicanery that's going on right now. Like, I want to know about this dare that made Hermione have to wear this stupid outfit.
But then the Scooby-Doo door gag that I don't own ended. The Squirrel Mort came out and Link played the Song of Time and Turn. The adult Link formed and stabbed Squirrel Mort with the Mist sword, killing him instantly. And the Master Sword's anti-EO powers reverberated through Voldemort and blew up all his Horcrux.
I thought that said Horcrux, and I was like, oh my.
Horcrux. Horcrux. That's one way to cuckold somebody.
And fuck all the horrors, too.
Yeah, apparently. Killing Voldemort once and for all, period. End of story until the sequel that I may or may not write. I don't know yet. Thank you, and have a pleasant night and a good tomorrow. Have the end. Author's note, I'll probably write an epic plot for this story like I did for Ocarina of Awesomeness, but that one had 3.
Okay.
It hurt.
So, Mewis, what did you think of this story?
Farty Navi.
and bloody exploding toilets. And giant squirrels that became trolls that became squirrels again. Norm, what did you think about this story?
Anything that I've seen in the original Harry Potter series, it was just blown off the window. So as for Dumbledore whatever, being naked, I thought originally that he had a crab in his sock, so I guess he has.
Yeah, it did
like
say
any old guy. He had I don't know, he had amnesia or something and decided, I'll just take off my clothes. So.
But I would think you would just take off that particular shoe and take your socks off. You know, like if you had a stone or something in your shoe or sock, you would just take it off and shake it out.
Yeah, well, I guess that wasn't enough, so I guess we might as well go through the whole 9 yards. But otherwise, I mean, the names were being changed and stuff like this. And while they're doing that, it kind of put the story off track.
There was a track that the story was on.
You couldn't follow. You couldn't follow half the things he was trying to say.
Yeah, a lot of things were vague or not fleshed out as much as they could. Instead, we just made everything super wordy by repeating stuff we'd already said multiple times. I mean, clearly this is a troll fic. More prominent here in the last chapter with the tribute to My Immortal by having Hermione wearing this specific outfit from that story. But I lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was going to say.
Don't worry, because I lost it in chapter 1.
But I think my point is, something like My Immortal is crazy and at times nonsensical. There's still enough logic to it that I can follow what's going on. there's just a lot of stuff happening, and again, not a lot of substance where things are constantly repeating. And that, again, is something I don't really remember happening a whole lot in my Immortal. I mean, sure, we had a scene or two that might have been redone, or several characters that were introduced ended up having the same exact backstory. But the difference between this and something like My Immortal was that stuff happened in My Immortal, even if it didn't make sense. They went and did things that you could rationally follow most of the time. But for this, well, I can see what we're trying to do. Much like My Immortal, we're trying to pay a bit of tribute to some of the older bad fics and troll fics of the day. I don't think we're at the skill level to be able to make a coherent bad troll fic like we want to. I think if we could go back and expand on some ideas, make it a little more clear as to what's going on. For example, earlier in the story, with the Charms class, we flipped Professor Flitwick with the word charm, so that instead it was Professor Charm and we're learning about Flitwicks. That really wasn't funny, but at the same time I'm like, okay, I can see what you're trying to do. It was much better done when the troll suddenly became Quirrell, and Quirrell, who you've been calling Squirrel throughout the story, became the squirrel enemy that they had to fight in the bathroom. Because that was much more funny, because you just went for it, and you even acknowledged the fact that it was changed to be a squirrel, because then we started talking about fluffy tails and things, which I don't think in the Harry Potter universe trolls have tails. I don't remember. But you went with it, and that made it funny, because it's hilarious to be fighting a squirrel of all things. Actually, I'm starting to notice that in lots of stories, like, anytime squirrels show up and you're like, ha, it's just a stupid squirrel, or it's a stupid bunny, or something like that, it always kicks your ass. Don't fuck with the cute things. They will beat you up. Jokes seem to be hit or miss, I think, and also maybe used way too much. Like, had you stayed with a consistent, or a similar consistent misspelling for Dumbledore, like putting the U there and it being like Umbrella Door or whatever, it would have been great, because then we would have just referred to him as Russian Dumbledore the entire time. I don't know, I would have thought that was pretty funny myself. It was like in My Inner Life, where we're reading about Ariakis, but we just gave up on saying his name and started calling him Harry Asskiss. I think in some ways we're trying too hard, and when we get a good thing, we just don't really know how to use it well, and so we want to use it multiple times. Or it's possible when it came to that squirrel thing, the author felt that if they didn't include that first mess up with Flitwick and Charm, that maybe we wouldn't have figured it out for the second time he did it. I don't know. I think if we had just go back in and refined some bits to make it clearer, and worked in better jokes and took a few things out that really weren't funny, like the Flitwick Charm thing, and took out a lot of the redundancy, because you're just wasting time when you're repeating things over and over and over again. Like, we get it, it's supposed to be a troll fic, it's supposed to be a bad fic, but we're not getting anywhere that's entertainingly bad. And that's the whole point of a troll fic. Like, it's supposed to be so bad it's good.
It's only a flesh wound.
Grenade! Holy hand grenade! That's what they should have done. Somebody should have whipped out a holy hand grenade from nowhere and threw it at the squirrel. That would have been great.
Take a page out of Monty Python, eh?
Yeah, that would have been good. Just start doing all kinds of random shit. Like, it didn't need to make sense. They just should have had the holy hand grenade. Any other thoughts outside of me of just constantly ranting about all of this by myself?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
Probably beat it with a dead horse in some cases. But, if that's all we have to say, then I'm Caleb.
I'm Norm.
That's Norm.
I'm
That's
hungry.
You're hungry? It seems like you're always hungry when we read Muse. Last time you wanted tacos. What do you want this time?
The Souls of the Damned.
Souls of the Damned? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. We'll see what we can do about arranging that later. So, I'm Caleb. That's Norm. That's Muse. And this has been Bad Fanfiction Theater. Thank you for listening, guys. Bye!